Here. Well, some certain manifestation codes created a video about manifesting healing. Unlike him, I very much like and prefer to go straight to the fundamentals in this because the stuff he teaches, actually he needs some information about it, and this is why that stuff he teaches in that video particular can hurt a lot. So there is a little built-in warning in that. But let's get started. I will take my own project line, and from that I will explain what to do, what not to do, and how to fix if you had done it and it had messed up big time, how to fix it. In 2014, 13 and 14, no one expected me to finish and graduate as an electrician in 2019. No one expected that. Actually, I was also not in the same school as most of the children in Denmark. And I had a lot of frustrations. I was a little bully because I didn't like the other children, and that actually was a problem. A lot of things I had done, yes, I had regret that and thought, how could I have changed that differently? But in the end, somehow I feel it was the right thing to bully these guys and girls because I had to protect myself in that way. So it was not for fun I did it. It was in order to protect myself somehow. I didn't know better at this time, so this was my best guess to how to do it. I know my way better today, but the bullying, I still have the skills to it. When I in 2015, actually in 2014, I started created some inventory of my life and childhood, and I say there was a role in my childhood. There was one of the what is called. Let's take translate in this case. When I got problems with some particular words I don't use normally. Yeah, there was one of the teachers in kindergarten that was not very, very kind to me, and she also was not kind to my friend. This means this is a role, this is a pattern in our subconscious mind when we experience that from childhood, especially when it is so early. So somehow I knew it was something deep rooted in me. But I did not, at this time in 2015, I did not know it was from a past life actually, and multiple past lives. That I will go to later. But the thing is, in 2015, I challenged this pattern in my life and always say, see, I have a pothead, see, I have a what is called drain hose, see, I have a yada yada. And this I did in the physical world because I didn't know better. Combined with the main passion run I also did with the Jürgen Sandwich system, that is nothing more than a manifestation of main passion in cluster manifestations, that actually worked. This broke me free in 2015, but this was what I immediately wanted to get broke free and removed from a toxic teacher in one class and removed over to another class and another group of students. That was my immediate desire, but I did not expect it to cure some disease in me, and I did not expect it to cure it so hard And the effects of the manifestation in 2015 was actually a little bit surprising and a little bit scary in 2016. Also because in December 2015 it actually started to get a little bit hard, and then I used the Jürgen Sandwich system again and actually run the system to the limit. And this did a lot. In 2016, I got my big manifestation. I had not expected to get it. I certainly not had expected to get it, to get a pothead in 2015, to get 5 pothead in 2016, to start on my to start at education as an electrician. I had not expected that, and the driver's license I had really not expected to be able to drive a car. But actually, I am one of the best drivers, and in my insurance companies in Denmark, they say I am an elite driver because I never fail in driving. Actually, if something goes wrong, I'm always good at reacting and avoid the big disaster. And this contingency has only been used in 2022 and some in 2017 and some. Yeah, I always avoid the big damage, but I had some just about incidents. But I always get out of them without anything get hit or hurt. So I am a good driver. Actually, I'm the best driver. But this is not enough. This was not enough in order to finish an education. But I actually graduated as an electrician, and if you look, if I find my proof of that, you will see it. If I need to be careful where we place our things. I had not touched that cluster of things. I also have my passport. This blue little baby here is my proof of being an electrician. So this is my proof, and that one I got in 2019. And in the spring, later on in 2019, I got this little blue book in the February 2019. In the spring 2019, the grid company actually had a job opening at the substation team that builds and do a lot of switchgear bay fitting, flat cable spreaders, relay control systems in the substation, cable pulling from breaker to control panel, and etc. This team actually had a job opening in 2019, and I didn't react to that, and this was also a big mess up, because afterward anything started falling apart. I could not continue with the. I could not continue anywhere. Anything fell apart, and this was because I had not fixed beliefs. That T manifestation coach actually talks about a child that is autistic. He is an adult. When he met him, he talks about an autistic adult that had healed his autistic disease and acts normal. But I can assure him about it will not keep persisting for very long, maybe 3 years, and it will go down again. So this is how not to do it. The way to do it is very different. When you have something like Asperger's syndrome, you want to target main passion especially main passions. because some illnesses and diseases actually stems from our main person. A defect main person can actually manifest as a defect personality trait or defect in character or defects in your body eventually. So controlling a main passion or multiple main passion can actually be a great asset when you deal with such a disease. I had a lot of videos about controlling main passions. Some of them are good, some of them are bad. But if you watch them all together, you will get a much better understanding of that. Without that knowledge in 2019, my project messed up big time, and it actually ruined my life, and my situation got even worse than before. But eventually, the universe forced me out to the grid company, and this was also not a nice bridge of incident. The universe, actually, the pandemic in 2020 have a big role in that manifestation, because if you don't react on your main passions, the universe will actually force you into your main passion later on, and this was exactly what happened for me. I didn't know flat cable spreaders was one of my main passion because the main passion was not under control, and I had not control over that main passion, and then I didn't know it existed. But after I had created control beliefs about that, it worked now. But in the meantime, both in 2020 and in 2021, I was literally forced out to a substation with a flat cable spreader. In 2020, I had some sickness and I was hospitalized. I don't know if that is the right word. And beside the hospital, right beside it, there was a substation with a flat cable spreader. In 2021, I was in the grid company. This was something. Yeah, I ended up with the grid company, not in the wanted segment of the company, the 60 kV team, but in the 10 kV team. But that Monday, I will never forget, because in the morning it was the plan we should picked up some fuse assemblies for some smaller substations, pad mount substations. But in the weekend, a oil-filled round cable for 12 kilovolt actually failed big time in Odense. And we got the task. We got forced into the place. Then we got out there. We found the place, and we required a digging team that could dig up the cable. And it was break. It was 9 a.m. break. We in that grid company, without saying too much, they have their breaks in the substations. Actually, there is a little dinner room in the substations, the most of it. So this was what we did in the very nearby substation. And guess what happened? In front of the door to the dinner room or lunch room, there actually was a flat cable spreader. But unlike the flat cable spreaders in the other cases I had been forced to them, this flat cable spreader was cutted. The copper pipes was cut and the cables was still on. This means the universe actually showed me how to manifest a flat cable spreader into my life when I will open that main passion, and this was a big asset, that cable failure. I will say this was the most life-saving and important power outage I had ever seen. Of course, also there was a power outage in 2019, but this is another story about. But it is basically the same. That these oil cables. Now, so the thing is, if you don't target your main passions, the main passions will come to you, and these ways the main passion will come to you is not very kind. So when you're dealing with a mental disease like autism, Asperger's disease or something like that, you always target main passions in order to have that asset. This is the first thing I have to say about that. Another thing is, if you have a mental illness or sub illness that actually gives you problem, you ask yourself, what is the end? Is the end I don't have control over my passion for flat cable spreaders? Is the end I don't have control over my life? Or is the end I don't have control over my ability to take responsibility? These things you ask yourself about, because this is a great asset to do. Then you find and target the patterns, and you turn them off eventually. Sometimes you can change patterns, sometimes you need to turn them off. It will depend very much about your situation, it will depend about your relationships to the family and a lot of things. But it is very, very important to know this. So, long story short, yes, I healed my disease in 2015 and 2016. It was actually a little bit unexpected and very scary and surprising to get out and start education as an electrician. That I had not expected. I had expected to get a pothead and life is good. But the universe actually wanted me to get that flat cable spreaders. So this is why something appeared in that job I was about to get in the little town close to Athens. Something forced me away from the greenhouse and out to the education for electricians. And I know this is another main passion. This is number 3 main passion that was in the game here. So actually I was forced to start education as an electrician. But it was also unexpected I did it, because I had no idea I could start as an electrician. I had just expected my life to be some kind, a little bit better. My life a little bit better in 2015 and 16. And from there, and I had not expected that big change. But the change about breaking free of a toxic relationship in 2015, I didn't notice about Asperger's syndrome. I didn't thought about my diseases. I didn't thought about anything. I just wanted a pothead and a breaking free of a toxic relationship. But by doing that, I actually manifested healing for myself. And after that, I actually started education as an electrician and eventually graduated. That was 4 years later. So, the moral of that story is always manifest what you want, not what other tells you to manifest, not what the society tells you, not what the expectations tells you. No, what you want. Do you want a flat cable spreader? Do you want to break free of a toxic relationship or something like that? Or do you just want to have control over your life and main passions? This is the thing you need to target. Manifesting healing for a disease is not about assuming. It's not just about assuming to be healed. It is about asking yourself, what is it I want? Do I want to have control over my life? Do I want to have a lot of friends or something like that? This is the real questions to ask yourself. Always the end, not the middle. If you try to pick up some state you actually bought it if you pick it up, and I have a very sad experience with that. This is why I take it from the inside and out instead outside and in when I manifest. I always ask myself, what is it I want? Should I do some less extreme? Should I go straight for the desire? It will not be surprising in 2024 if I actually end up in a substation very, very soon. And maybe in 2025 I end up in a substation, perhaps. I had not seen signs about it, but I have a feeling about it because I had done so much work. So yeah, this is a big no-no. Assuming you are another person is a big no-no. You always want to target your main passions and your core beliefs, and you always want to do that in order to facilitate healing manifestations. And I talk with experience because I actually had done it before. Now I'm doing it again, and it is very annoying to do the same job twice. Actually, it is really annoying to do the same job twice. But here I am, and I must do it because I have no other choice. So I hope that help. I hope that help. But always go for your desires. Don't go for what the society wants. Don't go for the society's expectations. Don't go for anything like that. You go for what you want. Do you really want to get a job, or do you really want to get a job or education, or do you just want to get a flat cable spreader or something else? This is the thing you need to ask yourself about. Main passion can be a big asset when you manifest healing, especially with mental diseases and things like that. With physical diseases like cancer or something like that, you also want to target your main passions. Even if you fail to manifest healing, you will still get your main passion manifested, and you cannot be reborn in this horrendous condition again because you had changed your main passions. And therefore, you can only be reborn in a life you like to live. So it's never too late to start changing main passions and beliefs like that. That manifestation coach actually make more work for me and gives me a lot of troubles, because when he teaches that stuff, people start using it and apply it, and few years later the world get even worse, and their life get worse because they don't know the fully fundamentals about manifestations. Unfortunately, I had a lot of mystical experience. I manifested a lot of answers. I can be twice obsessive as he can. I can really dig into it. I always tell the truth when I manifest because I want the truth, and I want people to have a joyful life. I don't want people to struggle. I don't want people to use all their time on manifestation and maintaining manifestations. This is why I teach the truth. To give the full solution to these problems. And manifesting diseases, healing for diseases, is actually a quite easy task if you know what to go for. If you know which beliefs to target, how to target them, how to convert patterns into beliefs, and so on. And how to define ends when you end up with a disease. What is this disease? What is the end for the disease? And so on. This is very important to know. And this is very important fundamentals. Because just assuming you are another person will not help you. Actually, when I started assuming I was another person, actually universe brought me even more mystical experience about core beliefs and main passions. That was scary, actually. My friend from the kindergarten is dead. He died in 2023, and I was devastated, and it actually forced me and prompted me to create all my main passion and all my beliefs and teach him how to do a real good exit, and not that the illegal and difficult and wrong exit he did. Now I show him how to do it and how not to do it. Because I know he is reborn somewhere and he will see that, certainly. So, this was about healing. Next time I see that guy tells something that is slightly incorrect or keeping information to himself, yeah, you can read the Bible, vengeance is mine, next time. Have a nice day.